tied off my arm with a rubber tube, and plunged the Persian into my veins. The heroin raced to my heart, exploded all over my body, and in an instant I was blue.
I lost consciousness. When I opened my eyes, everything was a blur of light, color, and motion. I was on my back, moving through some kind of corridor. Sounds whooshed in and out of my ears, unrecognizable at first, until slowly a voice emerged out of the white noise.
We're losing him!
I tried to sit up to figure out what was going on. I thought it would be hard to lift my body, but to my surprise, I shot upright, as if I weighed nothing. Then it felt as if something very gentle was grabbing my head and pulling me up. Above me, everything was bright white. I looked down and realized that I had left my body. Mickey Six, or the filthy, tattooed container that once held him, was lying covered face to toe with a sheet on a gurney, being pushed into an ambulance. Fans who had been following us all night were crowded into the street, craning to see what was going on.
When I woke up, there was a flashlight shining directly into my eyes.
Where'd you get your drugs?
I groaned and tried to clear the fuzz and pain out of my head.
Where'd you get your drugs, you filthy junkie?
I tried to move my head to avoid the flashlight beam that was burning into my skull. I couldn't see a thing, but I could feel tubes running into my nose and needles taped against my arms. If there was any sensation I could recognize in delirium, it was a needle in my arm and a cob.
Yeah. Answer me, junkie, come on!
I opened my mouth and sucked in what felt like the first breath of my entire life. I almost choked on it. I coughed and wondered why I'd been given a second chance. I was alive. What could I do to celebrate this precious miracle of a second life? What could I say to show my appreciation? The next thing I remember, I was standing in a hospital parking lot. There were two girls sitting on the curb crying. I walked to them and asked, "What's up?"
What up?
He's alive!
Of course I'm alive.
Okay, time to push.
Mr. Dr. Surgeon Matt Arthur, and I just delivered a heroin baby. Sometimes when a mother does heroin, their babies come out extremely unhealthy. Some things can include dry mouth, slow breathing, collapsed veins, heart infection, liver disease, and pulmonary complications, which can lead to extremely early death. So I, Mr. Dr. Surgeon Matthew Arthur, beg, please don't do heroin. Thank you.
In your near-death experience, did you experience anything unusual?
I can tell you things that I shouldn't have been able to see. I saw a hotel hallway, I saw the ambulance, I saw the limo that was there, but I really shouldn't have seen those because there was a sheet over me.
Did people think you were crazy?
You know, I really kept that to myself for a lot of years until I did the behind the music thing, because I didn't want people to look at me like I'm crazy.
How many near-death experiences have you had due to your heroin addiction?
I can't say it out loud enough if you're into them. What?
Scroll twice.
Oh.
Okay. How many near-death experiences have you had due to your heroin addiction?
25 years ago, today I had 2 almost fatal drug overdoses that changed my life forever.
Do you regret it?
Most definitely. I can't even see myself these days as the kid who was running headstrong into the abyss, but I know he taught me how to live and when he finally decided to do it for himself.
What is some advice you'd give to those out there tempted to try heroin?
I can tell you things.
What is some advice you'd give to those out there tempted to try heroin?
I can't say it loud enough. If you're into them or considering doing them, drugs don't work. The downside is never pretty. I would never seen the birth of my 4 beautiful children and had such a wonderful life if I had not kicked the drugs. I am extremely grateful to be able to look back over these last 25 years and have all the memories that would have otherwise gone down up in flames.
When Dorothy collapses in the field of poppies in The Wizard of Oz, she has fallen under the influence of an opium. Treatment with a few chemicals can isolate morphine, the active ingredient in opium. Morphine can further be refined into diacetylmorphine, which is commonly known as heroin. The word heroin is derived from the German word heroisch, or heroic. Heroin is also known as tar, train, junk, smack, H, boy, white horse, brown, black, chiva, among others. Two of the most common long-term effects of heroin are liver failure and heart disease. According to the Department of Justice, the top destination in the United States for heroin shipments is the Chicago metro area. A 1998 to 2008 study found that heroin-related deaths in the Chicago area went up 40% among white people. According to a 2013 study, Afghanistan is the leading producer and cultivator of opium, manufactures 74% of illicit opiates. However, Mexico is the leading supplier to the United States. Quentin Tarantino's violent movie Pulp Fiction was accused of glamorizing and misrepresenting heroin use. The movie shows an overdose victim being revived by a dose of adrenaline injected directly into the heart. However, this is almost never done to treat a heroin overdose, and if it were done, CPR and defibrillation would also be necessary. Heroin has claimed the lives of many beloved artists, including Philip Seymour Hoffman, Corey Monteith, Janis Joplin, River Phoenix, and Chris Farley. Other celebrities have struggled with heroin, including Russell Brand, Robert Downey Jr., Corey Feldman, Courtney Love, Tatum O'Neal, and Keith Richards. Approximately 13.5 million people worldwide take opium-like substances, including 9.2 million who use heroin.